I'm white. I'm a Caucasian because everything about me is different from an African American. My hair isn't nappy, it doesn't require weave. My nose is not giant as like African Americans. My lips are perfect. They're not too big and they're not too small. But when it comes to black people, I think they're all ugly and I have nothing in common with them. I'm different from African Americans because I'm white. My figure is just like Kim Kardashian and she's a wonderful role model.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
Good morning.
Hell of the day.
You hold this L for that bum ass.
Stupid.
The king is back.
King fame. Okay, King fame.
Can you copyright him right now?
That girl you saw in the intro is Treasure, who is a black girl who thinks she's white. We've seen this bit before. It's not nothing original or creative or new. Boondocks did it with Uncle Ruckus, where he hated all black people, even though he was black himself.
Thank God for the white man's infinite mercy, Martin Luther King. Cause if it was up to me, I'd unleash the hound and turn y'all niggas into puppet child. I was happy at the back of the bus.
And then there's the OG sketch with Dave Chappelle where Clayton Bigsby joins the KKK and he's blind, so he thinks he's white, but he's actually black.
Just open up your heart and let that hate out.
Yeah. We want to see your face.
Yeah. Who said that? You want to see my face?
Clayton, go on, brother.
Don't be afraid.
And we've even seen the reverse of this with Rachel Dolezal, where she wasn't really black being white. She was white trying to be black. And what she did, she wasn't really being offensive or racist as far as I remember, correct me if I'm wrong. But with Treasure, it's far, far more offensive and a lot less funny. Because she just hopped on Dr. Phil's show and just said as many racist things as she can about black people. I mean, everything you can think of that's negative and the stereotype about black people, she added to her list of words and catchphrases and just threw them out there.
You believe yourself to be Caucasian. Tell me why you believe that to be true.
Well, I know I'm a Caucasian because when I wake up in the morning, I just have such a great life. And that my hair is so perfect, my skin isn't ugly, and I'm not fat also, which is also a really African American thing.
Throughout the video, Dr. Phil is asking her questions, trying to see why she thinks this way and things like that. Side note, I don't know if anybody else is paying attention to Dr. Phil, but he just seems dead inside. He seems super dead inside, like he doesn't want to be here anymore. I don't remember how long this show has been going, but it's very clear that he doesn't want to be doing this anymore, and he's really just doing it because it is who he is at this point and it brings in his good money. He'll ask her a question in this very monotone voice and just zone out. He'll just go like, yeah, so you think all black people are monkeys, huh? And then he'll just gone, just black void, filled nothing. He's not listening to a word she's saying. She's bouncing off him like Charlie Brown.
A black person is like going to the zoo.
He doesn't care. He is there for his check and he's ready to go. I can only imagine after so long talking to so many idiots that can start to weigh on you and you just start to zone out and not pay attention to it anymore. It's one thing to talk about idiots. It's another thing to try to have a good conversation with idiots for a living. That's what he does. That's who he is. And now he's sick of that shit. So Dead Man Phil continued this interview with her and continued to probe into her ridiculous logic on why she thinks she's white.
And I would like to clarify the fact that I am nowhere near delusional. I'm actually very capable and a very intelligent person. So, well, I feel like if you're being delusional, then you gotta be some type of retarded. And I'm not that.
I think she was trying to offend as many people as she possibly could on this day. She wanted to see exactly what she can get away with throughout this entire thing. They let her get away with most of it. The only thing they really bleeped out was when she said the N-word, which of course would get them in a lot of trouble. And they would be under a lot of scrutiny if they let that word slide through, because then it would be like they're promoting the use of it. But I guess it's okay for them to promote the use of all the other shit she said. So hey, it's cool. With this being the Dr. Phil show, it wasn't just this interview on stage. There were parts where they pre-recorded home conversations with the mom and the daughter. Just really, really basic and boring conversations that you would expect them to capture. At one point, the mom was like, hey, you know you're not white, right? You're black. And Treasure's like, that's ignorant.
My mom tries to criticize me about my supposed race. I tell her she's just ignorant.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
So ignorant it is indeed. There's a lot of things that's ignorant about this entire thing, but somebody telling her she's black wasn't really one of them. Something I hated about the whole thing was how trash the mother looked. Like, she looks useless. She looks almost defeated. by her ignorant racist daughter who's just saying whatever she wants. At one point the mother goes, "Have you visited the KKK website by chance?" And the daughter says, "Hell yeah, I go that shit daily, that's my bookmark." And the response that the mother gives to that outrageous statement was so trash that I couldn't comprehend, because if I said something like that to my mother, I would have had 2 knots upside my head.
I identify with the Ku Klux Klan because the way they believe is just so smart. White is right. White power.
To ask if you've ever gone to their website, that's me.
Oh, yeah,
You've done it. Yeah,
website.
I figured
Of
as
course I
much. Ooh, that's just awful.
Yeah, of course I've been to their
Ooh,
website.
that's just awful.
That's awful. That's just awful. Darn you visiting racist sites in my home. If only I, your mother, had some ability to just put a stop to your racist antics. That's what you got. That's all you got to like punish your daughter. Is dag nabbit, you really pull one over on me. I guess there's no way for me to stop you from using this internet that I paid for, in this house that I paid for, on that phone that I paid for. So I'll just continue to let you go on to this KKK website.
Treasure, have you ever reached out to the KKK?
I have their number on speed dial. Call KKK. They keep me like current on like updated events. I've had the KKK's number since I was like in middle school.
KKK on speed dial? Really? Really? I don't even think, where do you even find the KKK's hotline? Somebody please, no, don't inform me. Don't put that in my comments, actually. Don't put the KKK hotline. Don't tell me how to get to them. Don't give me that email. Let's leave it at that. Not only did the mother look like an idiot, also the brother looked like an absolute idiot. Well, not so much as an idiot, as they really kind of just limited what he could say. He had like one pre-recorded thing where he got to talk and say more than 10 words. But as far as being on the actual stage in front of the actual crowd, they tossed him the most Lob City, just please finish the dunk, don't fuck this up type questions you could ever give. And whatever he said, the crowd just went crazy. I mean, it was a full-blown concert whenever he responded, no matter what. He got standing ovations. People threw panties on stage. It was crazy, the reactions he was getting for the things he was saying. Phil would just ask a very simple question like, "Hey, do you think that your sister being racist is a bad thing?" And old Johnny boy here will respond with something like, "Nah, I don't really like that." And the crowd, man.
You absolutely do not endorse your sister's beliefs, the statements that she's making, or anything of the sort.
Not at all. I think it's disgusting.
Okay.
Bravo in the encore. Say more. Encore. Yo, Treasure's brother for president 2020. He doesn't agree with these racist ways of his sister. He's an amazing person. He had a couple of witty lines in there that really spiced up the crowd and got him going.
Like you say, you have perfect ears. Do they work?
You say you have perfect ears, but do they work for hearing? That is an amazing roast. Absolutely savage, my boy. Couldn't think of a better burn if I ripped one myself and saved it for the end of this video. That was an amazing line. You think you have perfect ears, but do they work for hearing? God damn, he's so witty. I wish I could be as witty as racist girl's brother.
Are you African American?
Yes, I am proud.
Are you African American?
I am 100% African American.
So Phil Bear continues to probe and ask questions, and it gets pretty boring, to be honest with you. It's the same thing over and over. He tosses her some simple question about what she thinks about black people, and she says as many offensive things as she can in like a minute span because they're on the time limit. It's just really boring after a while, and it's really repetitive. And I think it was like a total of maybe 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of just repetitive, boring and tired, offensive jokes from Miss Ruckus herself. At one point, some therapist lady comes on. She calls the woman a hood rat.
It's not that she hates black people. It's that she hates herself and she wants her own life back.
I don't take hood rats serious at all. So I'm not gonna even pay her any mind.
I'll be fair and say that was actually kind of funny because I didn't see her calling that professional ass woman a hood rat. I didn't see any hood in that chick whatsoever. But hey, Miss Ruckus gotta be as offensive as possible, so I get it. Because the more and more I watched, I realized that's exactly what was going on. That this was all just a front. Just some young dumb chick trying to get the attention and trying to be popular and get viral off of Dr. Phil, kind of like Catch Me Outside Girl did. And there's plenty other little clones they do to get as much traffic and views. as they possibly can. Actually, now I think about it, there was one more funny part that I forgot to mention before I wrap this video up. It was when Dr. Phil threw another lob. There was a lot of alley-oops in this thing, a lot of layups. He asked the crowd, hey, if you don't agree with all this racist shit that this girl is saying, stand up now.
If you disagree with what she's saying, stand up.
All of them are liars. All of them are liars. And behind closed doors, they type the same thing as me. They're just quiet about it. That's it.
As if some goofy idiot would sit on national television in front of millions of people and say, yeah, nah, I agree with that racist shit. I'm all for it. I came here to promote and support her racism. So naturally, every single person stood up instantly with no hesitation, because Lord knows you don't want to be the last person to stand up on camera with that confused, baffled look on your face like, I didn't know we weren't being racist today. You don't want to be that person. So of course, everybody stood up immediately. And I just think it's all funny. It's all so funny how stupid and dumb this entire thing was, which is why I have to give an L of the day to none other than everybody involved. Not a single person avoids the L fist. Every single person involved. If you were in that video, you get, I don't care if you were the cameraman, I don't care if you were the security guard, I don't care if you were the person in the cheap seats, I don't care. Every single person gets to hold this L, specifically Queen Ruckus and her family. But that's too many people to try to wrap up into one little ending outro, so I only focus on you, Queen Ruckus Treasure. You went on Dr. Phil and said a lot of racist shit for attention and clout, but the more you started to talk, the more we realized you had no idea what you were talking about. You only did this to try to extend your little online reach. The only reason that's toothpaste is because I used up all of my fucking bleach. I think I went a little too crazy protesting man spreading last month, so I ended up running out and that's all I really had. But bleach would have worked a lot better. That's all I'm saying. I'm pretty sure most of you would have got the joke if it was there, right? Bleach, black, want to be white. It's not very hard. Funny story, I actually have an ex named Treasure who I started talking to because of her name, but this Treasure is a little different. It's worthless. It's not the same. This one's a goofball who only really cares about trying to get attention and fame, and the other one actually had a brain. I stumbled upon this video last night and the L just kind of fell right in my lap. So now I decided to take it and give it to Treasure so she could shove it right in her gap. Is that a low blow? That too far? I'm sorry. I had to, like, she said a lot of offensive shit, so I feel like I get one offensive line in there. I don't really feel bad about saying it at all. As for everything else, if you agree with this L, be sure to leave a like on the video. And of course, let me know how you feel about everything in the comments down below. And if you are new, subscribe to join me and the famous few on our path to greatness. Until next time, this has been the Famous King, King Fame, and I have nothing left to say. So with that being said, this has been your L of the day.
When you are comfortable in your position, when you know who you are, when you are educated and you are fact-based, you can walk into any room with confidence. You can talk to anyone. You don't have to do anything except for simply be.
I'm not black, I'm OJ. Okay. Financial freedom, my only hope. Fuck living rich and dying broke. I bought some artwork for 1 million. 2 years later, that shit worth 2 million. Few years later, that shit worth 8 million. I can't wait to get this shit to my children.